Aloha, namaste, songbird. As we here with you again today, and check it out, I got a selfie stick. I'm borrowing my friend's. Kindness never ends. That's the Wolf Sanctuary down behind me, California Wolf Center, right? And Granite Mountain. And then I've showed you guys before, that's Ranchita, and it goes over towards all sorts of mountains, in Borrego Springs, Ocotillo Wells. So you guys, just a reminder, kindness matters. You see that? Okay, so in fact, what I've noticed is I usually just put poems on my shorts, and yesterday I did a quick talk about what America could be and things like that. Something just fell off of here. And because the algorithm is watching for radicalness, it wouldn't show it. 7 people saw it, and the poem I put up 10 minutes before it had over 300 views so far, right? It's not a lot for most people, but for me that's a lot because this is simple, honest stuff, and people want to be entertained and entrained, right? They don't want to be told the truth, which is silly because it would end suffering. And that's kind of what this is about. I'm not going to make it too long. America, okay? I have acronyms for that word, and I was saying them in that other video, but perhaps I was a little intense. No need for that. So my name being Eric, E-R-I-C, is in the middle of that word, America, which is a made-up Illuminati word. It's not based on Amerigo Vespucci. If you do the real etymology, you'll learn. Okay, so it's named after Illuminati, which is what America is because of the Federal Reserve. And we're all slaves to the dollar, and the world's trying to break free of that, but they're just going to be slaves to another currency because this world is slavery. And these brain chips they're putting out now, Neuralink, look, if you're a paraplegic, that's awesome. But people want to take shortcuts. On the spiritual path, there are no shortcuts. And you got to put in the time, you got to put in the work. And it was like I was saying the other day, you do all this practice and this effort, and eventually you get to the place where you realize you've always been there. You always are. But you have to let go so much, what we think we are, what we think the world is, thoughts themselves, ideas, concepts, conceptions, compoundings, aggregations. They're all obscurations to your self-liberation, realizing you already are liberty. You already are freedom. Simply be free of ignorance. Be free of being free and dumb. So, yeah. Well, it's another beautiful day. We got a heat wave going here. And it's just in the spirit of clarity that I make these. Look, we all go through challenges. I'm processing a lot of karma right now because I really work to transcend this realm of so-called birth and death, the cycle of samsara. I don't want to come back. It's hard. And we've all been here so many times. And, self-honesty is really the key to clarity, is sincerity. And we think we're being honest with ourselves, but if you're telling yourself a story that you're a male or female, that you're a certain age, that you're on a planet called Earth, blah, 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 that's not true. That's the appearances. That's the quantum holographic projection of your mind, which is the projector. So you can have the direct experience that will show you what I'm saying is actual and true, but you got to put in the work. You got to do it. And it's doing, not doing. It's a kind of not working work, and yet it takes a lot of effort, effortless effort, attainless attainment, right? It's all a paradox, remember. It is a paradox. So one thing I wanted to be clear about, and I kind of mentioned this the other day, is that you have all these people saying they're channeling ascended masters and they're being helped by aliens and this and that and the other. They haven't accepted their own divinity enough that they have to have a subject-object relationship with some kind of form. The truth is that your form is formlessness. That's the truth, okay? And because you don't need it. You don't need even to make a decision. There's one final choice, and then there's no more choices, because awareness doesn't need to make choices. It's just aware of the perfection that always is. It's beyond words like perfection. It's all words and thoughts, because if you can say it or think it, it isn't such. It's not the flow. It's not the Tao. And it's all about the flow. And you got these people talking about rising in frequencies and, you know, everything. Well, look, Tesla was a genius. He knew a lot of things, but you guys, they're still manipulating the dream. This is the dream realm. And a dream is a dream is a dream, good or bad. Why would you get involved in any way with the dream? The real miracle that Christ Yeshua taught us, and Buddha and Krishna and all the masters, is that you already are. You always already are freedom now. And that you can sit still in timeless awareness, which is abiding and intrinsic and naked and lucid and cognizant. And you can experience directly the Sat Chit Ananda-ness of being. That is beingness, awareness, bliss, right? And it is that. Not easy to maintain. Of course, if we think we're maintaining it, that's why. So, yeah, it can make your human life better, but you'll be back. You can do things to be higher vibration here. Sure, this realm is about vibrations and frequencies because it's not solid. It's all waves. And waves are vibrations and frequencies. And, you know, as our physical light, your eyes only see a very small part of the spectrum. There are so many kinds of waves. And we're beyond that. That's all a part of the false suggested hypnotic suggestion that's always there around. Think of it like this. If you know what, okay, so when you're a kid, before you know mathematics was a principle. It was already there. The universe is run on it. It's all fractals and Fibonacci and pi and phi, the golden ratio, the golden mean. That's all true. But that's true in the physical, okay? In the false, in the material, in the arising, the dependent origination, the rising relationships, cause and effect. That's karma. But we must transcend that. And you do that by being the I am, which is invisible. You are invisible. You've never seen yourself. Now, I'm giving you some deep stuff, but we don't have time to waste. They're trying to foment a civil war. They're trying to keep us divided. Look, the system is a two-headed snake. And if you're an independent voter, it's ridiculous. And if you're a Californian, you know, California is the 5th largest economy on earth. We used to be the 4th. We're the most populous state in the union, yet our votes don't count. Don't think they do. Really, it's all decided for you already. It's all a big game to keep people divided. I got screamed at yesterday by a Trumpy when all I said is, the guy's an nincompoop. Are you kidding me? That's my integrity shining through, okay? I ain't gonna lie. And the guy attacked me and screamed at me, and he's super rich and has a great life. He's talking to someone who gave everything for the path, a true disciple, who has nothing in this world and yet can still have joy and still teach and share and not grasp, right? Not cling. Yeah, man, that's the goal. Know your soul, right? Be whole. That's what holiness means. It means wholeness, holistic, but not a whole human. Human means dirt, man. Look it up. It's the same root as the word humus, which is dirt. So you're not dirt. You're divine awareness. So am I. If I want mine, I have to give it to you. That's the law, right? As above, so below, so to speak. Well, above is the true original essence, awareness, divinity, and below is the appearing, the shadow, this. And if you're honest with yourself, this life offers you nothing. It tells you you're supposed to have children to keep it repopulated, and that you're supposed to, you know, have the American dream or this or that or the other. Those are dreams and nightmares. You can make this a heavenly dream, as A Course in Miracles teaches you. The truth will make it a more heavenly dream for you, but it's still a dream, and it's better than a hellish nightmare, which is a lot of people are living through right now. Many, many, many. And if I didn't have the spiritual path, I would have had a nervous breakdown a long time ago. I've really brought on a lot of challenges, and that's because I want to get off this time. I'm trying to do it in one time like Milarepa, and it ain't easy, and there's no I trying. I'm just saying I have to use words to talk to you. Inside, I'm letting go of these words immediately because I don't want to confine, conceptualize the self in any way, capital S. So truth and beauty and love, yes, we worship those. Life, truth, love, the true living Trinity, right? I is we, love is you. We are kind because we don't want to spread pain and suffering. We want to help bring it to an end. And because you are infinite wholeness yourself. Okay, so here I was going to tell you about math. Sorry, I digressed. Or I went on a different route, but now we've come full circle. Okay, so when you're a little one and you go to school, there's a teacher that knows the principles of math, and they show you on the blackboard and in the books and by answering questions. And eventually you have your first aha moment where you have a realization, oh, that's how it works. You keep going, and after about 3 aha moments where you really catch it and you've made it yours, you discern, then you've now made those principles yours. You can build on them. You can go farther with the math, which goes on forever, right? And you can use it. You can build a building on that math, and it will stand up because you know why 2 times 2 is 4 and not 5. And there, look at that. This is important. As soon as you know, according to the principle, why 2 times 2 is 4, you also know why it's not every other number. All fractions, all decimals, 3, 5, doesn't matter. Only one answer is correct. There's only one truth. Okay, even in math, and math is music, they're the same thing. This is a musical universe, one song. And okay, so see, you right there get 2 realizations. You get what is and what is not. And if you look at this world, when you're walking around as a human and thinking you're divided, split-minded, think you fell from grace and you have to earn your way back and all this, no, when you're good, it clears your mind so you can hear within. That's all. And you're not causing more karma in the bad way. But, you know, we have to get to the point where we realize I is we. Every breath I take, every step I take, everything I do affects the whole, because it's a shadow of the true realm, which is just always whole, never can fall from it. So yeah, we correct ourselves, we do yoga, we meditate, we contemplate, we study the scriptures, we go to lectures and sit in retreats, and all these things are very important, but they're leading us to the place of peace, the place of isness, the place of, it's all right, because there is no wrong in actuality. Now see, you can use these kind of truths and really harm yourself if you're not careful. Because if you think you're a person separate, walking around, trying to make your way, having to compete, there's no competition in love. Love is not trade, right? Course teaches you that. A Course in Miracles. Love is not trade. Love is equal. Love is same. Love is only. That's your name. So why would you seek recognition and fame? It only comes when you recognize. How did Yeshua, the one they call Jesus, how did he do? Jesus beheld the perfect being where sinning mortal appeared to others. And he kept that conscious awareness, and he learned it from the Buddhas, right? Because he went to the Far East for years before he came back. He left when he was 12, he came back when he was 29. There's all the stories of Isa the Palestinian that are written in Pali on, thousands of year old, 1,200-year-old scrolls in Tibet. Isa means Jesus in Persian. He went to Afghanistan, India, Afghanistan, Nepal, and Tibet. He was a yogi. And Buddha and Jesus are best friends. If you think like all this superstition that the churches are teaching, you're lost. If you're a true believer, true believers are the problem in the world. Whether you're a political true believer, a consumerism true believer, a gender true believer, a sexuality true believer, truth true believer, which is like religion. Spirituality is not religion. True believers, think about it. People voted for Hitler. I recently found out he was 4'9". I forgot that. He had the Napoleon complex. So they voted for him. They voted for Mussolini. People voted for Trump. People vote for tyrants. Why is that? Because they have no integrity. They're not being honest with themselves. And if you're not being honest with yourself, you won't have the interior wealth. How can I go through what I've been going through and still be genuine with you and open and honest and spontaneous? That's another one. Because I've been practicing for 45 years. I've had ups and downs. I've made mistakes. That's okay. You got to not be so hard on yourself. But yeah, you got to stick with it. You do have to be your own taskmaster. But this world is slavery, like I said, and it's different. It's 3 levels of slavery. If you put a computer chip in your brain, that's 4. Why would you want the internet in your head? That's corporate, okay? That's a corporation telling you what to do. God knows what they would do. You have the internet, INNER. And that's the Akashic record. That's all knowing, omniscience, because that's what you are. You are the awareness that is omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence, and it doesn't have a physical form. That's the character in the dream. It's like a video game. It's like the character you're playing in the video game became lucid and started acting on its own. Or like a sleepwalker wakes up and everyone else is zombie walking around them, but they're lucid, okay? That's what you're doing here. Yeah, you're letting yourself be lucid. Notice I said letting, allowing, let it be, right? The Beatles were right. What's it? Well, at first you'll give it a capital letter, you'll make it absolute, but ultimately it has to be integrated, spiritual integration. So let's talk about America. Let's go back to that. What it's been so far? Arrogant men engaged ruining indigenous culture, absolutely. Sad, isn't it? Arrogant men, mostly men did this, pretty much all, and sellout women. Arrogant men engaged ruining indigenous culture, absolutely. Now, if you're a part of that, you're a sellout to your soul. I'm not a sellout to my soul, and that's why I've had to struggle in the accumulation stage to get to the realization stage, the accomplishment stage. And that's not easy. There are stages, apparently, states and stages of letting go, laying off the onion skins. So here's my America, and I'd like to see this one spread, and I think you'll agree with me. A miracle extending real, integrated conscious awareness. Now, when I mean integrated, I mean spiritually integrated. I mean skin color blindness. I'm not talking about gender. There's only 2 genders, or if you're a hermaphrodite, you're rare. There's 3. But that's it. That's how nature works. You can't continue nature with the same sex, okay? And if you switch your sex. So, yeah, a miracle extending, because miracles extend like light. Real, capital R, really, not fake, integrated conscious awareness, because here it's consciousness. You have to go beyond consciousness, which is awareness. So I'll teach you a little thing about the rainbow body. The Tibetans, many still modern ones, have achieved this, where you become rainbows, and either just your hair and nails are left, or nothing at all, or you shrink really small. Okay, so when you're doing the rainbow body, you have to return the elements, the earth elements and the mind elements, back to the dream, so as not to remake it, right? And stay on that wheel of samsara, life, birth, and death, right? So nirvana really is just a state of awareness where you get to, through calm abiding, you come to a place of deep, miraculous, mystical activity, and it eliminates everything automatically, instantaneously, in an instant. Everything is new and clean and pure now, because it's always here now. But that, that takes practice. Practice makes perfect, just like with learning to play music. And so in this realm, we could have a miracle extending real integrated conscious awareness. That would be an awesome America. But we're a long way from that right now. And they keep you, contemplating ideas like scarcity. If you look around you, there's not really scarcity. It's a man-made thing, right? Because every leaf on every tree, every blade of grass is showing you infinity, even in the material realm. Where do they come from? Because remember, that old question, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Neither. First of all, you need a chicken, a hen, and a rooster, okay? It's got to be a fertile egg. They all came together. It's a perfect idea. They were here. Boom. That's creation. Because your mind is an instrument of divine awareness. It already holds the full omniscience, but when it gets segregated, or belief in separation, it focuses it down, and it makes this creation, which still has to shadow the divine. That's why you have the math and the music and everything. And that's how you can get back to it. In Christianity, they say the Holy Spirit is your mediator, and it helps you, through the Christ. Well, that's about a knowing, not about a thinking. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And the truth is always true. It doesn't change. And there's a truth about this world. This world is change. That's the truth about this world. Well, if that's the case, then there's no more truth to this world. That's the only truth. That's 2 times 2 equals 5. Okay? It's a constant hypnotic suggestion. It's impersonal and it's universal. The devil is a name for that error that man made up. Man made the devil up. Now, are there negative forces and demons and all kinds of stuff? Sure. Awareness in this realm can present all those things, but ultimately it's divine perfection and it's love and it's unconditional. And the reason you have error, okay, think of 2 times 2 equals 5. That's an impersonal, universal presence that arises to suggest itself because already 2 times 2 is 4 is true and is there, which is also impersonal. So this is the thing. The truth is impersonal, universal, unconditional, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, omniactive, omni-I-ness. Everything's name is I. And this is the realm of ammingness, right? I am. But I doesn't need to am because it always is. Sounds funny, doesn't it? I know, words. But because of that, you have the impersonal, universal belief in 2 powers, 2 presences, 2 awarenesses. That's 2 times 2 equals 5. It's not me and you, it's I. And if you listen to my silly, simple, rhyming little poems, you'll see they're very, very deep principles. But the principles are simple. They're just not easy. Okay, it ain't easy. No one told you it was going to be easy. And fair? No, not in this world. There's no fairness. But you can bring it. Why people say, well, if there's a God, why is there suffering and war and disease and all these man's inhumanity to man and nature and animals? And well, that's pretty simple. That's because that's not God. You have to give God to the world. You have to be that divine awareness. You have to allow the mind to be cleared and become the instrument of awareness. That's what Yeshua, when you guys call Jesus, it's really Yeshua ben Joseph. That's what he did and his disciples. That's what the Buddhas have all done. That's what the modern mystics have done, the Hindus have done, the Hebrews. If you go to the mystical traditions, the deep, deep traditions like the Tao and all of them, Mahayana, Vajrayana, Zen, Christian mysticism, Hebrew mysticism, Zoroastrianism, although that gets in the physical a lot, the Tao. I cannot suggest enough that if you're pretty far along your path, something that really, really gave me some real crystallization was a very rare Taoist text called The Secret of the Golden Flower. Oh, it just goes so well with Buddhism, and you can read it for free on archive.org. And don't read the old version that Wilhelm did with Carl Jung's foreword because it was very confused. And if you read Thomas Cleary's edition, which is there, he explains the problems they had and with the first translation, and he's grateful because it put it out there. But it'll show you a lot. It's really it's succinct and it's amazingly beautiful and very helpful because it's about the principles, and everything is principles. So you have this unconditional, universal, impersonal error, evil, arising. 2 times 2 equals 5. Impersonalize it. And then nothingize it. Okay? Joel Goldsmith taught this, the infinite way. When you see appearances, judge not by appearances. That's Jesus. Resist not evil. Remember he said that. Why would you not resist evil? Because it's only power if you give it power, because you are the power. Okay? Every hour. Just look at a flower. Buddha's shortest, the Buddha Sakyamuni, Siddhartha Gautama, Shakyamuni. Muni, Mahamuni. He held up a flower to like 5,000 of his best students, and that was the whole teaching, and only one of them, I think it was Ananda, caught it. If you see a flower for what it really represents, or anything, a tree, whatever, a bird flying, a horse walking, you got it. Keep that pearl secret and safe. I've struggled a lot in my life because I have the gift of gab and I wanted to share and help people because I had such results. And then every time you share it like that, if you're not careful, you can lose it. And then you bounce, and some people never get it back. It's not easy. So impersonalize the error. It's 2 times 2 equals 5. It's not about you. It's not trying to attack you. It's attacking God. It's attacking perfection. It's a lie about truth, which is what you are. It's lying about your soul, about your true identity, not you. 2 times 2 is 5 is lying about 2 times 2 is 4. It's a lie. It's a false suggestion. It doesn't even have power to lie. It just arises. Dependent origination, right? If you have the principle of 2 times 2 equals 4 first, automatically all these other things arise. They're dependent on it, okay? But when you're set in the realization, spiritual discernment of the actual, the factual, then you don't try to change the dream. That's how Jesus did his healing. How could a woman walk up to him and touch him in the crowd from behind and stop bleeding after, 20-something years? Because he maintained the conscious awareness of the presence. She was sincere and willing, and that's what it takes, self-honesty, a little sincerity, a little willingness, which has to grow. Because of that, she was healed. We're only healed according to our willingness. Like if I ask the question, oh God, I don't know what to do, I'm really lost, I'm in pain, I need to fix this, I need that. That's not listening. Prayer is listening. It's better to say, I don't know, show me. For your glory, for your purpose, that the miracle shine through me, that I be that presence of the miracle. Never separate. I is we. That's why love is you. So this is getting kind of long, and I'm holding it up here. I'm going to use two hands now. I hope y'all can hear me. I hope this benefits. If it does, please like and share and get it out there. I give these freely, and I'm changing up the channel. We're going to do some more talking story and being more funny. And yeah, yesterday when I was talking about America, a bald eagle flew over me right here. Quite a sign, huh? And we're having a heat wave, so it's getting warm already. But love is you, especially when you let it shine through and let it touch everything you do. Because 1 and 1 is not 2. Good old Terence McKenna, right? 1 and 1 is infinite 1. There is no 1 and 1. There's only infinite 1. You don't have to figure out the universe. It's already figured out. And it's just an appearance that arises. Resist not evil. Don't resist the universe. Allow the love to come in. Bring God. Give God to the world. If I want the blessing, I have to give it to my brother. If I want the healing, I don't have any power. I'm not a doctor. I have to give it to God for the sake of my brothers and sisters, which includes insects and animals and plants and rocks and planets. That's bodhicitta, right? And the absolute bodhicitta is when you're in that deep, deep realization, your whole creation benefits with you. It's the holographic projection, right? And then you can walk on out of here. It's not about birth and death. Don't think you're going to die out of here and never come back. No, if you think you're dying, because we all go through the transition, the graduation, I call it. We all go through that like a butterfly coming out of its cocoon, they did that study where they helped the butterflies emerge from the cocoon. They were weak and malformed, and their colors were less bright because the struggle to get out of the cocoon is what makes them strong and symmetrical, and their colors bright and beautiful. And when they're in that cocoon, they melt down completely into imaginal cells, this black goo, which is like the opposite of a beta cell or a free radical, right? Those are negative, they're cancer causing. And this is like the miracle cell, imaginal cells. But you don't need imagination, that's imaging in. You just allow extension. Remember what I said, miracles extend, right? And I'm your friend, and I'm telling you the truth. Want to call me crazy, want to, judge me? Well, that's only going to bounce back on you. That can't harm me. And I've had a lot of people try to hurt me, poison me, run me over, you name it, steal my fortune. I could be mad, I could blame them, but they're not doing it to me. They're doing it to God. They're doing it to themselves. And yeah, if I buy into it, I suffer. And if I fight back, I suffer. Remember what the Buddha said about anger, which to him was the worst sin you could ever commit besides ignorance. He said, anger is like trying to throw a hot coal at somebody. It's going to burn you first, and you may not even hit them. Right? I added that part. But so, selfie stick, woohoo! It is a joy, it is a constant opportunity, a duty, and a privilege that we have here. For what? To love. To let Omni value everything. What? Letting Omni value everything. That's love as a verb that has the allowing, the letting go. What is Omni? The all and only every. Omniscience is the all-knowing, right? Omnipresence is the only presence, right? Omnipotence is the only power. And it's not a power to anything, it's the only energy. It might manifest in a million different ways, but it's one energy. Everything is unified. It is unified. And when you have the experience, you'll see that. And the experience is real. You can cultivate it. There's lots of ways. But you got to be sincere and you got to be self-honest. And that's an everyday degree. And remember, the truest master is the greatest student. You know, real mastery is there's no master or student, just the host. So then you're the most. And you won't be a ghost. Yet, spirit. Woo! Do you hear it? Are you with me? Can you see? Look at that view behind me. And it's a part of me. It's all one. Because that's what we are. And the work is already done, right? And, you know, think about everything we do, every action. Be mindful. When you're in your car runs on death if it runs on fuel, right? They'll change it to hydrogen, and electric is changing, although electric is generated a lot by, you know, death sources, although they're getting better. But, you know, it kills things when you're driving, and that's karma. Cars make karma. Remember the old bumper sticker? Oh, I'm so sorry, my karma ran over your dogma. So, you know, there's laws. This is a principled universe, and the law is lawful. Love is loving. The law is being lawful. The truth is true. And love is you. Ciao, bellas.